I got back out and never looked back. I realized, you know what, I did make the right decision. But it was like God just kind of winked at me and said, yeah, your heart's fine. That's just not the direction I had for you. You know?
Praise God. Well, where do you go from there?
Well, from there, I took a lot of weird turns. I did a year with an organization that I won't mention by name, but I will say that the initials of the organization started with a C and ended with an A, and there were 3 initials.
That's funny. What the frick? Okay.
And I was doing some really weird things with them. Got paid a lot of money to do it. But a situation came up where they wanted to send me to Panama. He mentioned that earlier. Same thing. They wanted to send me to Panama. But it was one of those deals where if I got sick, hurt, killed, or kidnapped, nobody knew I existed. And,
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
You know, I was kind of thinking, you know, I'm a little too young for nobody to know that I exist or not, you know.
Hi. Hi. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thanks, Big Jim. Woo! I need this classic Bigfoot scream. It's been a long time since I did that one. We're listening to, now this is going to blow your mind, Rob Skiba on Omega Man. Holy shit.
So I made the decision to get out of there, and as things would have it, I ended
stuff.
up
Wow.
hooking up with
Thanks,
a
Big
traveling
Jim,
acting
and
group.
welcome.
I'd been doing a lot of acting even during the time I was in the Army with community theater and college theater and stuff.
Amazing.
And hooked up with this acting traveling group, toured all around the country with Alvin and the Chipmunks.
You're not
Wait a second.
my like long-lost brother, are you? I mean, maybe a love child? One of us
You
a
never
love
know,
child, and I
man.
haven't found you yet? I mean,
A brother from a different mother.
What the hell? Manderson, welcome. And right as I jumped on the air, and Big Jim, you may have never heard of this guy, but Rob Skiba is going to be featured big into this episode. Anyway, here's an interview with him on Omega Man. You'll remember them from the Demon Stream, and they do lots of exorcisms on the radio. They're here interviewing Rob Skiba back in 2010.
I mean, we just found last year, I have an aunt
Insane.
who was actually the love child of my grandfather, my dad's side, and she has 3 daughters. And basically, I found out that I've got 3 cousins that I never knew of.
Okay. This was pre-Flat Earth Rob Skiba.
$7 million, 20 to the memorial, 20 to the manufacturers. It left 30 to split between me and my partner, Tom Hanks, and the attorneys. And
Wow.
So
What?
we got real close.
What is he talking about?
Wow.
Wow.
So I went to church, met the priest, showed him a proposal. Long story short, the priest was like, this is exactly what he's looking for, and I ended up having to mail a package from the West Coast back to the East Coast, where I came from. FedEx's attorney in Washington, D.C., who turned out to be the attorney for Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks' HBO miniseries, Band of Brothers, which was just about to be released.
This was after the time of
a long time ago.
Saving Private Ryan, right?
It was after Saving Private Ryan, but before Band of Brothers. And so basically the pitch was simple. It's like, look, the price of freedom has been paid. It's time we say thank you. And you buy a flag, and a percentage of every flag that was purchased would go towards a memorial.
Okay.
And Senator Bob Dole was the head of the fundraising.
Oh man, this guy.
They had to raise $100 million. They had 80. They stalled out.
Full of it. Flat Earth, get ready. Rob Skiba.
Out and they're trying to get to 20. So our proposal was to sell 2 million
What
flags.
else are you talking about here?
In my truck, and I'll see it on the dash of the clock there, or I'll see it on a wall clock, and it's just uncanny. I see it all the time. Now I've been seeing 444 and 1111.
Yeah,
now I've got
444 is a good one.
I thought I was losing my mind, and we were talking the other day, and you've
Thought I was losing my mind. Going insane. Doop-doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, well, we got no time to waste today. Let me drink some more of this coffee first. Let's get it blowing and going. Why the hell not? Coffee. Java. Ooh, excuse me. Kofifi. That's right. That's right. Ooh, let me start that again. That's right. We're back again with another episode of the Cool Stream. Yeah. Feels so good to be back on our regularly scheduled stream here on Saturday afternoon. And I know everyone out there, we were all busy running around, doing our chores, making sure we get stuff done, sweep the dust under the rug, say, honey, it's time to watch the Cool Stream. We gotta get all this, gotta take the kids to the pool and clean up the limbs in the backyard and sweep and mop and all that stuff. So I can sit back, relax with my iced coffee and crack open my laptop, turn on the Twitch, so I can check out this stream. It's called the Cool Stream, baby. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's right. We're back doing another damn show. And I'm so excited to bring it live to you, direct. And I can't remember if I'm supposed to keep doing the reverb. Whoa, on the show. Yeah. Telling my wife she needs to watch the Cool Stream. Hey, get those wives involved. You know, this is information that we all need to know. We all need to be exposed to some of the truths and secrets that they're hiding from us. If you can see a little animation back there. I think you know what's coming up, what the crazy stuff we're about to talk about. I know my fans and everybody have been clamoring and demanding that we do a Flat Earth episode. And for so long I was like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird. Everyone talks about it. Everybody already knows. But I said, you know what? Screw it. F it. We're going to do it. We're going to do another Cool Stream, baby. That's right. Coming to you live and direct on Twitch. It's the Cool Stream. And it's me, your host, Beowulf, coming to you to deliver some of the coolest and weirdest stuff on the web that you'll ever hear. We got another weird one today. That's right. So we're talking about that gosh dang Flat Earth. And these folks are just about as weird as they get. Including our friend. We're going to talk about this guy. We're going to get all up in his website. And here it is. TestingTheGlobe.com. That's right. Our friend Rob Skiba is back. We love him. You know him, you love him.
Shit rock.
He's the creator of the famous show we all know and love, The Seed. But now he's back doing Flat Earth. So today's episode, we're going to dive And we're not going to do that again, but we're going to dive into the mysteries of the flat Earth. And what are they not telling us about our world? And have you ever seen the curvature of the Earth? I mean, come on. What's up? Puff Deluxe, welcome. This is a big special episode, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So last week, if you watched the show, you remember, was that last week? I think, or a couple weeks ago? Last week, that's right. The show was hijacked by a dastardly man by the name of Mr. Rude Guy. He took our show from us and he made us spin the wheel of streams, and we had to do an episode that we weren't quite totally prepared for, but I think we nailed it, more or less. I was really tired, and I was really confused by all this time traveler stuff. Puff is here. Still listening. Listen in. Listen up, everybody. You'll never get a more hard-hitting and comprehensive take on the flat Earth than you will today on the Cool Stream, because we've got the guy to tell us all about it, and that's Rob Skiba. And I was talking about last week's episode, which we had our stream hijacked by Mr. Rude Guy. And that was kind of crazy, but things turned out okay. Did a good show. Someone, Beer Horse actually, gifted him a sub. And of course, we'll play that classic drop.
Thank you, Beer Horse.
Thank you, Beer Horse, for giving Mr. Rude Guy a sub. He watched the show. He wasn't quite too sure what he was seeing. He sort of made fun of me a little bit, but we had some back and forth via text. And he's an alright guy, turns out. You know, he's kind of crazy, he's kind of wild, but he's kind of a cool guy also. He was rude, but he turned out to be, you know, an okay guy. We were chatting back and forth. I haven't actually heard from him in a couple days. Not sure what's going on. Normally he's on the stream with his pal, his partner in streaming, the Samurai Kid, who does a lot of the gaming on the stream, but haven't heard from either of those two, so I'm not really sure what's going on, but we don't have any time to waste today. We're not going to spend all episode talking about him. Maybe he'll be back on the show at some point, I don't know. Today, and we have this epic music, because today we're talking about the flat Earth, baby, that's right. So, where to begin? Well, we got testingtheglobe.com, and like I said a million times before, it's a website, and it's a biblical worldview and one man's quest for truth by our friend, none other than Rob Skiba. Now this fella, he created a cool TV show called The Seed, and it's a science fiction show based on some myths from the Bible or something. He did like a couple episodes, or they read the script and posted it on his other website. He's got a million websites, this guy. He's doing everything. And we watched some of that stuff on the first couple episodes of the Cool Stream. It was a lot of fun. We've went back and revisited The Seed. And then I said, check this out. He's not talking about The Seed anymore. He's all in. He's put all of his chips onto the table, and he bet everything on the damn flat Earth. Wouldn't you believe it? A guy who's all about biblical stuff, reading into the finer points of text in the Bible, that he would come out being a big flat Earth enthusiast. And, of course, he created a website. And we're seeing this on here. That's right. We're seeing it live on the Cool Stream, testingtheglobe.com. So we're going to start on this website, and we're going to get into it and talk about, cover as much as we can, and answer any questions you have. We will answer them on the show, and we're going to understand flat Earth once and for all. Yes, that's right. So his first graphic he's got here, it's pretty good. These little smiley face guys. Now, one thing that flat Earth people like to do is point out stuff with math, and they try to do lots of calculations. And then they're like, what? This is crazy. Can you believe that they're saying that the Pythagorean math is such as this? So anyway, here's his graphic. Here's his graphic. This webpage is sponsored by the Emoji Movie. Ready to accept the flat Earth belief. By the end of this, you'll be like, baby, give me that red pill. Maybe not that extreme, but we'll consider it. So here we go. He says, let's assume we live on a ball. Now, right off the bat, right out of the gate, as you say, making you kind of feel like, can you believe this? You live on a damn ball, a basketball? That sounds silly in and of itself. Let's assume we live on a ball. All right, person A is 6 feet tall. Yeah, so is person B. Just big, tall guys. Looking at the charts below, the Pythagorean math, and we all remember that, which was a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, how did I remember that? I'm not sure. It's been a minute since I've done any kind of algebra. So that's the Pythagorean math. That's the formula he used to calculate the Earth's curvature, I think. Now this math that he did, he crunched the numbers and it reveals, and we've got a Windows Defender summary. We're going to just kind of close that one out. We'll come back to that. Anyway, I hope we don't have a virus on the computer. So the math reveals the fact that in just 3 miles of distance, the head of person B will be even with the feet of person A. And the ground continues to exponentially curve downward and away at approximately 8 inches per mile squared from there. I've never heard it said that way. Per mile squared. Wow, that's a lot to take in. So when you're on the Earth, and I think if we really looked at the Earth, I think this guy would be like about 50,000 feet tall. I don't really think that's how it works on the Earth. A 6 foot tall person is just a tiny microscopic piece of dust on this vast globe. And I'm a glober, okay? All right, I'm a ball head. I'm a globe head. I don't quite buy into this stuff. I'm not going to try to be a skeptical, just mean guy, but I don't quite buy into it. I'm skeptical. What can I say? But Rob Skiba did the math, all right? If you're doing it from the center of the Earth, and you just read the chart, okay? Do the trigonometry with your sines and your cosines, the ball Earth. And it says here, how can the horizon be seen way up here if the ground is doing this way down here? So how can the horizon be... the horizon is always at eye level. It's always there. Never changes. So how is it beneath us? That's kind of weird. I'm not sure. Not quite sure on this. I don't really understand the math, but we're just going to trust him, okay? He's done the research, he's done the math, and he thinks this is not right. This is strange. And he's also got a book here, Testing the Globe, a Zetetic Investigation. Now, what does that mean? It's a compilation of books written in the late 19th century, includes Zetetic Astronomy by Samuel Parallax Rowbotham. Now, I think I have his book pulled up somewhere, but this is a guy from way back in the 1800s who wrote a book. Here it is, Earth Not a Globe. And back in 1873, so that's where we get some of the great thinker Samuel Burley Rowbotham, aka Parallax, and already he sounds like a damn Reddit troll. Tower of Babylon by Ted Chiang is a good story about how the Earth is actually a cylinder. That's interesting. Now, I'm good with, some science fiction. There's also Ringworld, which is something I've heard of. I haven't read that story, but it's all good when it comes to science fiction. But these people, they're taking it to the next level, and they're really coming out here and saying that the Earth is flat. So this is Samuel Rowbotham's book, and it's just, I don't really know. Here we go. So he's got some examples with some trains, and if you throw the ball up and it falls down in such a way that how can the Earth be curved? Anyway, so this is one of the big fundamental thinkers of flat Earth stuff. It's this guy Parallax from the 1800s. So back to Rob Skiba. This crazy cool website. The site is back up again. Here he is. Got the Earth, and he's doing all kinds of investigations. Going out there into the world. Going on all kinds of radio shows. Talking about it. Oh, here's some comments. Thank you so much for doing all this work for us sci-fi junkies. Yes, you were told to test all things, and why have you not understood that there are certain impossibilities for a flat Earth to work? Oh no. So they're debating here on his website. And so here he goes. One man's quest for truth. Website is very much in progress. He's on a quest for truth, damn it. It's easy to mock and ridicule and dismiss an argument. Taking the time to give a well thought out and carefully reasoned response, however, is another story. Initially, when confronted with the issue of flat Earth, my knee-jerk response, like that of many others, was to mock, ridicule, dismiss the whole thing as utterly ludicrous, total waste of time. But then I was challenged by several people to prove that it was, and I thought it would be quite easy to do so. Turns out I was wrong. So when you are asked to prove that the Earth is round, it's tough, folks. If you don't know Pythagorean math, and if you can't see the curve, then how do we know it's there? It must be a big lie. And I'm not going to really get into some of the NASA hoax stuff that these people talk about quite a bit. It's kind of a fundamental for beginning the flat Earth thought is that, you know, the moon landing is fake, and that all the damn NASA pictures are CG, and that we've never been to space, and because NASA is owned by the government, that it's just a big government lie. Because for me, I'm thinking, I've never been in a damn spaceship, but people are up there right now, floating around the world, and people have been to the moon, and they take all these pictures, and, you know, yes, some of them are touched up a little bit and all that stuff, but I believe that people have been to the moon. But if you're a flat earther, you have to reject all that stuff and go out the window. It's all fisheye lenses and CGI. It's not real. But I'm not going to get into a lot of that NASA hoax stuff today, because it's there's a lot of it, and some of it's pretty funny. So anyway, Rob Skiba is just kind of telling us about how some of his favorite videos. Of course, he starts off with Mark Sargent, who's a big flat earther, kind of one of the guys who really got it going again. But it's been around for a while. It's been around, it's been a while, and it's been around. The ISS is fake. They asked me to take me there, and I said no. Oh, man. We've all grown up seeing we've seen the globe in classrooms. Generation X grew up with the Apollo program, so he's talking about NASA there. Let's see, where else are we going to go with this? Okay, how about... there's just so much crap. It's hard to really... Let's see. Okay, so... Rob Skiba is a big Bible head, and that's primarily where he kind of jumps off into this flat earth belief. So he's got all the quotations from scripture, and so it talks about how "He shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble." So this is about the heavens, sky above, and their relationship to earth. He's got all the quotes from the big book we all know and love, the Bible. Lots and lots of them, and they're everywhere, and you can pick out a quote for just about anything. The Bible and the still flat earth. And there's all kinds of stuff. There we go. So, what they like to point out, these flat earthers, these dang flatheads, like to say, well, back in the day, there were all these theories from people from ancient times, okay, and they said that this was what it was like, that you have the waters above the firmament, you've got the floodgates, open the floodgates, the stars are under the firmament, and we'll try to understand that a little bit later. The columns of the earth, you got the ocean, and you got the earth. So there's all these models from the Bible, from ancient Hebrew conception of the universe. Here it is. So because all of these damn people from thousands of years ago said, this is what we think it is, and all of this lines up, then that's must be what it is, right? We trust these ancient people. We don't think that the ancient aliens gave them all their technology. No, no. On this point right here about flat Earth, they are 100% right. And why would everyone say all this stuff if it wasn't the truth? Damn it. All right, so if you want to go back, if you want to kind of read about the waters above, you'll check out Genesis and the Psalms. And if you want to read about the moon, stars that fell to Earth, here's the underworld, and the waters below. So there are all these models from thousands of years ago that talk about this stuff, and that's really how it is. Even the Egyptians talked about this stuff. The Bible is, from Genesis to Revelation, a flat earth book. And in ancient Egypt, their god Nut was depicted as the canopy. You see similar depictions to the one on the right all over Egyptian iconography. It makes me wonder if this is why people think you are nuts for believing in what I'm talking about here. LOL, maybe it's just a coincidence. Regardless, an online article titled blah 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 talks about all this crap. Interesting. Very interesting. Interesting. Circle means circle. So, this is some very detailed stuff. Here's a square of the stationary flat Earth. There it is. Some guy in the 1800s drew this in Hot Springs, South Dakota. Was sitting and had his pen and pencil and his pad of paper and did this cool drawing. So he must be right. People weren't halfway out of their minds back then. It's kind of funny when you look through a lot of conspiracy stuff and how they kind of throw back to some of these crazy guys who were probably taking all kinds of drugs and going insane. Back in the 1800s, they were scared out of their minds and they were drinking poison or something. You know, they had all the quack medicines back then, and those people were all hopped up on that stuff. And they were thinking up stuff like flat Earth and UFOs and Earth energies and all that kind of stuff. So we like to kind of look back and say those guys knew what they were talking about. Here's Yahweh's terrarium. It's Yahweh's terrarium, and we're in it, and it's on this nice little square pedestal. That's pretty cool. So, good Lord indeed. The Lord is good, and He gave us our flat Earth. So, before we go down the rabbit hole on this damn website, it's just insane. Let's watch a video. All right, here's Rob. Here's old Robbie. Rob himself. He's talking about the distance of the moon from the Earth. He's doing one of his great experiments. This is a great video here.
As I rendered it, as I showed it to you. However, some interesting things happen with camera lenses when you actually do the test out yourself. And here's the test that I just did earlier today.
30 Earth diameters.
Okay, I've got a little experiment going on here.
So he, this is about 10 minutes into this video. Rob Skiba debunks Rob Skiba's previous NASA fraud video. So he's looking at pictures of the Earth and he's like, this looks weird. I don't think this is right. How could they? Oh, here's what he's doing. Let's see. Let me skip to this. He's got a picture of the Earth from NASA.com or .gov, I assume, and he's got the moon passing in front of it. And he's like, there's no way that is really what it looks like. And let me do some of my famous research and figure this out once and for all. So what he does here.
And, here's the test that I just did earlier today.
And here he is. He's in his office. He's got his camera set up. He's in the hallway of his office, wherever that may be. All of his coworkers are like, what the heck is Rob doing today?
Going on here. This
doing
is
an
my
experiment.
Set up in the hallway of my office.
He's down in the office next to the water cooler.
I went out and got a couple of balls to represent the Earth and
There's the ball.
Moon. We're told the moon is about 1/4 the size of the Earth.
Portion. So. This is a great picture. While this scale is not perfect, I felt it was close enough for purposes of this test. This is kind of cool. You can get the Earth, a globe, and you can get the moon. Similar size proportionally, and then he spaces it out using, feet or whatever, and kind of does the math. And I remember one famous scientist, Bill Nye, did a similar experiment where he rode his bike in between the planets and was like, check this out. Here the Earth and Mars are however many miles apart or something. That was kind of cool when I was a kid. So you can do something like this, scale it down, and walk around in the universe.
The Earth. So
Something like that.
I've got a
There you
baseball
go.
right here
The baseball.
representing the moon, and this baseball happens to be about 1/4 the size
And it's made of
that
cheese.
ball over there, representing the Earth.
There he is.
So this ball just so happens to have a 12-inch diameter, and my foot just so happens to be, my shoe happens to be about 12 inches long. So the math works out really well.
The
So
math
let's
works.
do 30 Earths.
And you know what they say about people with big feet?
Here's one.
And there he goes. He's measuring with his feet.
30.
And he's
So we've got the moon here, about 30 Earth
30
diameters
Earth diameters.
away.
He did the math, and he's measuring with using his steps for his feet, which is kind of a thing you can do for a quick measurement.
And this
It's totally
represents
precise.
250,000 miles, thereabouts. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's do another 30
you know
steps out.
It's normal and good
It's
size.
500,000 miles away.
500,000.
One.
And you know, Rob, he's saying this with a little bit of sarcasm, and he's like, this is what these crazy scientists say, that it's 1,000,000 miles, okay? This sounds weird.
30. Satellite Rob is now 500,000 miles away. Let's double that. Go out to 1,000,000 miles away. Here we go. One.
Yeah. It's crazy. He doesn't believe any of this. He's like, no one's ever been 1,000,000 miles from the Earth.
30. Satellite Rob is now 750,000 miles away. One.
There he goes. He's still going. Because he's trying to replicate this famous
28, 29,
satellite photography.
And 30 puts us just outside my office right here. What
And his coworkers are like, what the frick is he doing today?
do you know?
There's
And
his
so I've
camera.
got the camera just a little bit beyond that for a fudge factor. Now, Satellite Rob is over 1,000,000 miles away. And what do you know?
What do you know?
We've come up with pretty much the same exact results that NASA had.
Okay, so
So, let me get the gasp here. So, Rob does the old experiment. He measures, he fudges the math a little bit, uses his foot, does some rough guesstimating, takes a picture, and he's like, you know what? This is exactly, more or less, exactly what NASA has shown us.
my moon is a little bit smaller than their moon. However, you get the general idea here. You can see the distance. I went ahead and marked it off. I did pace it out to
Paste it out.
pretty close to the equivalent distance, 30 Earth balls away from the moon
30
baseball,
Earth balls.
and paced it out to roughly what would be the equivalent of 1,000,000 miles away. I'm rounding down. I mean, I get it that the moon's really about 238,000 miles away, 240,000 miles, somewhere like that. So my distance would be a little bit further, but for the purposes of
And his hallway is
this test, I think
His hallway is only so long, so it works out, actually. He's got a long hallway to work with to do his test.
I mean, it's still going to be pretty accurate. There's not going to be. I mean, the difference between what I did and what the reality would be is negligible. I was just pacing out a rough equivalent to 1,000,000 miles away, based on the scale that I
A
was
million
working
miles away. He's proven.
with. And you see
proven it.
that my image looks pretty much exactly the same as theirs. But this is where the problem comes in.
Huh?
Check this out.
Huh? He's proven it.
You get up close,
Oh,
everything changes.
what?
So, when you're
When you're
coming up over the moon, the Earth does look small.
no shit.
Very interesting. Look at that.
Whoa.
You're on the ball.
on the ball.
Toward the Earth, it does look smaller.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it looks pretty darn close to what the Japanese satellite showed, as well as what the pictures from, allegedly from the Apollo space program.
So we got a massive self-own here, as they say, where Rob Skiba has proven that the flat Earth is incorrect. The globe model holds true in this case with Rob Skiba and his little experiment in his hallway. It's kind of funny, but Rob's a stand-up guy, and he admits that he was
Many people just
he fully admits that there's something to this globe thing. And let's check out. This is from his website, so we're kind of going meta here, but you can see his model of the flat Earth. It's kind of crazy. Don't really understand it, but there's Yahweh's terrarium. Everybody, it's a little bit different than some of the other models we'll take a look at. It's a little strange if you ask me, but he's done the research. He's jumped into all the Bible stuff. He's figured it out. There's all kinds of Bible thumpers out there that believe this stuff, including this guy, philipstallings.com, teaching from the scripture. As a Christian, the flat earth begins and ends with scripture. While the evidence continues to mount, and has for the flat earth, I must begin by saying the scriptures told you so. We told you so. Come on now. It's in the book. Just like so many people have been deceived regarding evolution, the Big Bang, heliocentrism, so too have many been duped into believing we are on a spinning ball. When you put it that way, it sounds silly. I'm not on a ball. The ramifications of these lies have had wide sweeping effects on every sphere of life and society. So doing a little pun there. Every sphere of life and society. I'd like to begin with the most controversial verse, and so the verse here says, "It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain and spreads them like a tent to dwell in." I recall in my apologetic days that when the atheists would make fun of the Bible, they would constantly bring up this verse. They would spit bars and spit their verses about the verse. Okay, and the typical Christian response was to point out that the word circle here is in fact proving that the earth was a ball. I remember even then thinking that didn't seem right to me. We all know what a circle is, and it is not a ball. I suppose so. I'll give him that. In fact, the Hebrew word used in this verse was kahug, pronounced chug. Chug, 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 chug. The word literally means circle, circuit, and compass, and all these words, none of them conjure up a picture of a ball. Furthermore, if the earth was a ball, and God wished to communicate that here, then it would have required using the Hebrew word dur. And that word means circle, pile, or ball. Isn't that interesting? If the shape of the earth was intended to be conveyed as a ball, then the Hebrew word would have been used. So, that proves it right there. So, there's a lot of biblical stuff wrapped up in the flat earth. It's kind of what I'm getting at here. Alright, so where do we go next? Well, let's check out the Flat Earth Society. And let's figure this out. Alright. We're here. What is this? This is the FAQ. So, and now some places that talk about Flat Earth say that the Flat Earth Society itself, they're a bunch of damn shills, and they're actually not the real guys, and they're trying to deceive everyone. And I can't recall why that is, but there's some split about that. Lots of people calling out the Flat Earth Society. Don't listen to them. They're fake. They're trying to fool you by looking foolish, and they don't really know what they're talking about. But they have a handy-dandy website. I don't see any of these other people don't have an FAQ that I can look at. It's actually kind of hard to find some information because it's all wrapped up in these stupid 3-hour-long YouTube videos that I've refused to watch. It's too long. So, of course, here we go. We got the United Nation symbol. Is truth hiding in plain sight, as they say. That's it right there. They're telling us something. This is pretty much the flat Earth model. Is the UN symbol, because they know. So you got all your evidence. We'll look at some evidence a little bit later. And of course, we all know Descartes' model of Cartesian doubt. For the philosophy heads out there, is flat Earth connected to a religion? Well, I think so. Not for everybody. That's certainly true. Okay, so we want to learn about the ins and outs. We want to really take in the details and figure out what does it all mean here on the flat Earth. So, the Earth is in the form of a disc. So it's not a ball, and you can't play hoops. You can't shoot a three-pointer from behind the arc and win the big game. No, it's a disc. So you could do some disc golf. You could throw your discus in a track and field match. That's the Earth right there. It's in the form of a disc with the North Pole in the center and Antarctica as a wall around the edge. This is the general accepted model among members of the society. In this model, circumnavigation is performed by moving in a great circle around the North Pole. The Earth is surrounded on all sides by an ice wall that holds the ocean back. The ice wall is what explorers have named Antarctica. Beyond the ice wall is a topic of great interest to the Flat Earth Society. To our knowledge, no one has been very far past the ice wall and returned to tell of their journey. What we do know is that it encircles the Earth and serves to hold in our oceans and helps protect us from whatever lies beyond. Here is a picture of a proposed but not certainly definitive flat Earth. There it is. It's flat. There's the ice wall. So when you're doing navigation, you're going to be on these longitudinal lines, circling, and your compass will always point to the north. So that kind of makes sense, I guess. How do you explain day-night cycles and seasons? Day and night cycles are easily explained on the flat Earth. The sun moves in circles around the North Pole. When it's over your head, it's day. When it's not, it's night. When it's not, it's night. Alright, that makes sense to me. When the sun's not around, it's night. Makes perfect sense. The light of the sun is confined to a limited area, and its light acts like a spotlight. So here's a little animation showing us approximately what that would be like. It rises in the east and sets in the west. That checks out. It's circling around. And there's the moon is also there. Don't really understand the purpose of the moon in this model. Doesn't really make sense why it's even there. Just kind of a cool thing to look at. But that pretty much sums it up. And I'm sure you could slow this down and you could triangulate, a clock and figure out, okay, if you're at this point, it's going to be daylight and nighttime for X amount of time. They've done all of the research, and of course the sun kind of has a weird orb-shaped, shifting shape of light here. So it acts as a spotlight, so that's kind of cool. And it changes its position, so we've just entered the summer solstice. So the sun is a little bit closer to the middle. It kind of moves in a little bit. It's done that recently, just the other day. And when it is the winter and all that stuff, when it's the equinox, it kind of moves out closer to the ice wall. And that's why it's cold, because the ice wall cools the sun down a little bit. That's just something that I think, so I'm just going to inject my own theory. Here's how the seasons work. Can I see the curvature of the Earth? Well, you quite simply cannot. Alright. You cannot see the curvature of the Earth. So, of course, you got the ice wall, and if you've ever watched the television show Game of Thrones, you would know all about the ice wall. This one's a little bit different. No one's ever been to the South Pole before. That's also there's some hoax stuff involved with that. Of course, People are at the South Pole as we speak. People have walked around on Antarctica. They're there. It's pretty much all controlled by different countries, and that's kind of a thing that adds to the conspiracy, which is that you can't just go and sail your ship to the South Pole and take a walk around, all right? Because each little section of Antarctica is controlled by a different country, so you can't just show up in your boat and say, "Hey, I want to check out Antarctica." You've got to jump through all this red tape, and that's proof that they don't want you there. They don't want you around, and they don't want you to see the ice wall. And forget the fact that people have walked to the South Pole. They've walked around on the ice wall. They've been around up there. No, it's not real. So that's the ice wall. That pretty much sums it up. Now let's watch this video about the seasons. Let's check this out. Let's check it out. It's over on Brighteon. Support your freedom to speak. So this is some kind of weird alternative video thing where they let you talk about stuff, controversial topics.
Big Berkey water filters.
Big
Available
burpy
now
water
at
filters. No.
BrighteonStore.com.
Oh God.
In the flat Earth model,
Oh,
the
crap.
Sun and Moon luminaries revolve around the Earth once every 24 hours for the Sun and approximately 25 hours for the Moon, illuminating like spotlights the areas over which they pass.
The sun is pretty damn
the Sun's
small.
annual journey from tropic to
Look at
tropic,
it.
solstice to solstice, is what determines the length and character of days, nights, and seasons. This is why equatorial regions experience almost year-round summer and heat, while higher latitudes north and especially south experience more distinct seasons with harsh winters. The heliocentric model claims seasons
If there wasn't a
change
wall
based
and the
on
Earth is
all
truly
Earth's
round,
alleged
you should be
axial
able to
tilt
walk straight
and
to the South
elliptical
Pole and
orbit
come
around
out
the Sun.
the North
Their
Pole.
flawed current model even places us closest to the Sun, 91,400,000 miles, in January, when it is actually winter, and farthest from the Sun,
Let me get this straight.
94,500,000 miles in July, when it's actually summer throughout much of the Earth. They say due to the ball Earth's tilt, different places receive different amounts of direct sunlight, and that is what produces the seasonal and temperature changes.
Look
This
at
makes
a
little
map.
sense how
I've been looking at a map. This is the only map I need. Alright, this is it. The North Pole is a separate thing, okay? Okay. Do you see the problem here? No, not really. I don't really want to read all this stuff. This is not interesting to me. But I'm doing a show about it. But you know, it is fun. It's a lot of fun, is checking out some of these videos. What else? What other stuff? We got Bible verses. Let's check out our old friend, Neil deGrasse Tyson. What does he have to say about the flat Earth? Oh, this is D Marble.
Shout out to Flat Earth Soldiers Facebook group, posting a clip of Neil deGrasse doing the talk for SXSW. And during this
SXSW,
interactive
that's
talk,
South
he was
by
on
Southwest.
stage answering questions about the cosmos and all that. And topic of discussion came up about Felix Baumgartner's Edge of Space Red Bull jump. Okay, and there's been a lot of controversy around that. The
Very
Flat Earth
controversial.
community has hit on that topic quite a bit. So here's what Neil had to say about that.
So Felix Baumgartner, that's something they point to a lot, is the guy who went up in a spaceship or a balloon and jumped out in a spacesuit. He was way high up in the air, and he had a fisheye lens, so you could see some curving stuff, and that's proof that they used the fisheye lens to distort the flat Earth to make it look round. Damn it. And he did it. He was caught red-handed. And here's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
And the dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, was it Felix? Felix Baumgartner.
I think Neil deGrasse is canceled also.
Millimeters above the surface of this globe. That's his edge of space jump.
Alright, so Neil's busting him out, saying this guy thinks he's at the edge of space. Well, he's actually on this globe, this funny looking inflated globe. He would only be 2 millimeters from off the surface of this thing, which is kind of crazy to think about. The Earth is huge. The globe, the ball, is big.
Now, I don't. He wants to. I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they make sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he's like, wow, he's in space. Look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball.
Wow, it's going off.
You just don't. That stuff is flat.
Oh crap.
That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat.
That stuff is flat. You heard the man. So yeah, I'll listen to him on this note. But
that stuff is flat, and Neil deGrasse come out and said it. He's usually paid by the government to spread his globe lies, but in this case, he let it slip, and he said that stuff is flat. And you heard it here first on the D Marble YouTube. He said it. I can't believe it. That's proof right there. So, what else did we want to talk about? Well, we can look at some memes. That's kind of a good way to... Nope. Dome Finder. Now, yeah, I was going to make a joke about Dome Finder, but I think you can kind of see where I'm going with that. One of the best ways to take in the flat Earth message, damn, these memes are sick, is by checking out these memes. It's pretty easy to kind of see what they're talking about. You don't have to watch a video that's 3 hours long by some boring guy that you don't care about doing all this math. I don't get it. What do you mean by Dome Finder? Well, I'd like to find some dome. I would like to find Dome Finder. I'd like to find some place to get some dome. Okay, does that explain it? Alright. They know you live on a flat Earth. They just don't want you to know that. Hotspot of sunlight indicating a light source closer than 93 million miles away. That's right. There's a hotspot right there. That means the sun is very close and it's very small. What else we got? NASA, 100,000 feet versus question mark. Are there two Earths or am I missing something? Weather balloon, 100,000 feet. What? Is that true? That's weird. What you see and what you believe. That's what I see. But what I believe is that actually you can see the curve if you're on a cruise ship or a boat. How can someone see this but still believe in this? They think flat earthers are crazy? Well, I'm not sure. What they're trying to say here is that the sun has all these little beams, and that must mean it's refracting from a different... I don't know, I can't get into the sun stuff. That's a whole other thing. Explaining why the sun is closer. Sending Thor to smash the dome. Smash the dome, fam. Alright, here we go. Under the dome. No way in, no way out. Simpins. They're saying the sun is close. Just like above the clouds. Yes, that's right. It's just that their proof for it is a little weird to me, and all the sun's rays and stuff, it's just, they go into like the angles of that and how that's proof of it being so close. Hello, cool people. Do we prove the Earth is flat yet? That's right. We're still getting there. We're still working on it. We're looking at some memes. Ah! When a globehead thinks the vanishing point is the start of the curve. Ah! Some cool pics. This little, there's your pop socket of the flat Earth. That's kind of cool. If anyone can do it, Beowulf could. That's right. Getting into it.
Beowulf.
That's me. There's another, here we go, firmament. Did I explain the firmament yet? I don't know if I did. Do I have a link to that? But oh boy. So much for the sun being in outer space. There it is. You can see it. And how is the sun going above in front of the horizon? And also Bush did 9/11, according to Skippy. So it just sinks into the ground. Uh-oh, Hardwick. Speaking of canceled people. Here's another one. This one's pretty funny. This is The Woken Undead arise from the weak days. Truth is stranger than fiction. And opening the pineal gland. We love it. We love to open up our glands. This is a funny, funny video that I saw just this morning.
Okay. And we're told underneath this cloud is just a big giant sheet of ice.
What the frick?
That's barren with nothing on it. That's what we're told.
And it says, for those who cannot grasp the concept of the North Pole and the lands that are hidden from us, here you go. A representation of what you need to know around a region that still exists today. A place of longevity. A magnetic mountain with its circumference in 33 miles and its peak at 588,000 kilometers. Holy crap. Above sea level, within its respectable depression range, the mountain sides rise in a series of steps, forming a square pyramid shape. Above this peak lies the realms of pure form and land. Interesting. That's kind of cool. We'll have to figure out what the hell that's talking about. But this guy made a cool little... Nico, this is for you, talking about North Pole. He made a cool little model with cotton balls and...
To look at ancient texts.
Cardboard to show us the magnetic mountain in the North Pole. It's not something I've ever heard of.
There is a mountain range that encircles this Arctic region. Okay, the Vedics call it...
Excuse me.
The mountain range that...
Get some ASMR sounds in here.
Circles Shambhala like a
Shambhala
flower.
Here it is. This model. That's pretty cool. A little art project there.
There it is.
There it is.
This is what most people refer to as Eden.
Wow.
The Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden.
Or Shambhala. Hyperborea.
Hyperborea.
Gotha.
Talk about that. Hollow Earth.
This is it.
This is it, folks. This is a whole other episode, but I thought this.
4 islands.
I thought this video was kind of funny.
A magnetic mountain in the
with aluminum foil.
Commonly known as Mount Meru. The Greeks called it Mount Olympus.
Okay, this does not have anything to do with flat Earth. We're getting way off topic here. So let's find something. What's gonna get us on topic? Let's see. Let's tee up something real good. Something real nice. Hell. A hell. Let's see. What do we got? So there's other videos of people with their balloons.
How far away is the sun in the heliocentric model?
63 million miles or something like
Close.
that.
93.
93 million miles, yeah.
The sun.
93 million miles, it's away from
Spam.
the Earth.
Spam, 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 spam.
It's creating that much of a centralized light.
It's not 93 million miles, it's a local light.
It's a local.
Yeah. So with possible diameter of 70 miles.
Oh, he's handing out some brochures.
And I'm going to make an assumption here because I know my YouTube watchers love it when I make assumptions because they like to police my thoughts, but...
Okay. So this guy's... Oh boy. You know what they say about making when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. This guy's trying to prove things for once and for all about the flat Earth. He's making assumptions, and his viewers like to police his thoughts. He's like, get out of my head. So I don't remember why I picked this video, but it did have... Oh, here it is, talking about the sun. Okay, so I do know what I'm talking about here. Sunlight... Oh, shut up. Sunlight being the light we see when we look at the sun, a yellowish white light. Okay, and that disappeared too soon. The second light is daylight, which is a diffused light, a glowing scattered light with limited range, which consists of many visible different colors. Once you get above the ozone layer, and I've been there before, it's a nice, cool, chill place, the inert gases will separate according to atomic weight. Alright, we all know that. Diffused light, which you see here, comes from these layers of gases, and I'm not talking about after I eat my Taco Bell. I'm going to have gas. It diffuses, makes it stinky. The electromagnetic field of the close passing sun is exciting these inert gases. And that emits photons, aka light. What? That's a weird theory of light. Change the voltage, electricity, and argon. What the hell is this video talking about? So he's saying that light is caused by gas? And maybe after I've had my Taco Bell. Here we go. All the colors you see here can be produced with just neon. Neon light. Full spectrum of light with all the noble gases. All the noble gases are there. The nobility. Alright, what is this all about? So this video is not really doing it for me, but here's the shadow. Actually, a convergence line, the edge of the electromagnetic field, the edge of daylight. This is from Big Skilly. So I don't believe that daylight is a perfect circle surrounding the sun. Alright. Daylight will take the shape of the electric and magnetic fields that is within. Good to know. Well, this is another one. These are just videos of weather balloons people send up into space. They're GoPros, and people get into crazy fights in the comments about the flat Earth. Some of them are like, this is it, this is proof. Let's see, Maestro Agnew. It's the best one I've seen. Simply amazing. Simply the best. Where are the stars? Let's see. Sunset of a spherical horizon. Oh, this is so proves we live on a flat plane. Looks flat to me. Shouldn't the sun be behind the horizon? Oh, crap. Shouldn't the sun be behind the horizon instead of in the front? Makes a good point. What is it doing there? Oh, this is from that guy's video. This is the video he used. This is cool. Just kind of admiring my work of finding shit on the internet. It's so cool. Here on the Cool Stream, talking about flat Earth. Bum, bum, bum. It's pretty peaceful. Going with the song. Bum, bum, ba, da, da, da. And we're up in space. Or some other comments here. It's all CGI. Hotspots on the cloud prove the sun is not local and not 93 million miles away. Oh, we got a big fight brewing here. What altitude is your imaginary local sun? Approximately 3,000 miles above sea level and 30 miles in diameter. Wow. Wow. That's pretty big. It can't be very hot or else the heat would boil us alive. Hotspots are not proof of the close sun. Let's see, another thing. Let's see, mentioning water. There's the thing about how water always keeps its level. That could be something to check out. I'm kind of building up to pretty funny, some good videos here. So bear with me. Can we find a meme about that? There's the great thermal debate. So water always keeps its level. That's something we need to know. And here we go. Missing the Earth's curvature. Have you seen me? Ah, no. Get out of here. Anyway, that's another thing about how the Earth has to be flat because water always finds its level. Water can't be curved. Geez Louise, this will drive you nuts trying to look through all these crazy memes. It's impossible to figure this stuff out. Google North Pole from space and show me one genuine real photograph. They hide in this. I'll say. Anyway, the water always finds its level. It's something I just remembered. What the frick? Flat Earth friendship. They call it sea level for good reason. Anyway, there's lots of good illustrations about how this stuff works. It's pretty easy to get from a visual perspective how it all works together. But what's the really hard evidence that we like to get into is sometimes you have to go out and prove it. All right, that's what Rob Skiba did. You go out and you take pictures. Don't let Elon Musk see these dank memes or he'll cancel SpaceX. If We've got, oh yeah, crap. We've also got Flat Earth Rap. Should we do that? Should we let's get some funny stuff going in here. Wow. Let's get some laughs going. Let's pump the energy back up into the stream. I've got some stuff here about people trying to prove the flat Earth, but there's some folks out there doing some fun music. And if you're a flathead, or even if you're a globe head, you could enjoy a little bit of the hip-hop beats.
Scientists say we got here from the Big Bang. Well, scientists, y'all can suck on my big thing. I say gravity exists. Bullshit. If it's heavy, it's gonna fall just like dropping the brick. Suck my scientists say we got here from the Big Bang. Well, scientists, y'all can suck on my big thing. I say gravity exists. Bullshit. If it's heavy, it's gonna fall just like dropping the brick. Suck my. Tell y'all motherfuckers that the Earth is flat.
Speaking of getting dumb. Oh. I just left this going so hard on on Bill Nye. It's very funny.
Flatter than the water at the top of a pool. The Earth stationary, bitch. That mean it don't move. In the flat Earth win, the globalists lose.
The Earth win, the globalists lose.
I'm trying to tell the truth to you brainwash people. Do you feel like you moving? Do you see a fucking curve? But when you touch fire, don't that shit burn? Cause you feel it. Are you globalists some bitches? We just telling you the truth. Flat Earthers, we the realest. And we
You're the realest.
We ain't stupid like you niggas. The government
oh, okay.
y'all suck their penis.
I should stop saying that. Come on, this is a family show. This is a family show. Let's see, what are some other flat Earth raps we got going on here? These guys, CMAS, Plain Sight. These guys are cool. Make some good points. Fire is hot, and those rhymes were fire. And here we got some other fire ass rhymes here. Where's the curvature, you mother effers? Yeah. Global warming isn't real. It's actually planar warming. Hey, that's a good point. Oh crap. This guy. Never seen it. Can't deny it. Oh crap. Oh my gosh. The clouds never move. Oh. I love how they diss Bill Nye and Neil Tyson. It's funny. It's funny. All right, it's funny stuff. No.
Around the sun in a year. We're on a flat dome, motionless plane. They've been lying all this time just to get you in those chains. I see it plain as day.
GoPro lens, plain as day. GoPro corrected. The moon is in the pile. Is a pile of shit. Who else wants their money back?
You'll see that I'm right. There's no curvature to the earth. No day and night only happen because the sun went out of
the perspective matrix.
Same thing with a boat at sea. Pull out a telescope and check it. The moon landing.
Do it. Hey, if you want to believe the Earth is a globe, go out and get your telescope out. That's pretty funny. That's pretty crazy. This one's pretty good too.
Oh my goodness. Becky, look at this Earth. It is so flat. It looks like a gigantic frisbee. But, you know, who understands those flat
gigantic
Earthers
frisbee.
Anyway? They just say it's flat because it's a total psyop.
Oh,
okay?
crap.
I
Total
mean, the
psyop.
Earth, it's obviously a ball. I can't believe they'd even deny that it's round. That's, like, out there. I mean,
it's weird.
Look, it's just so flat. I like flat Earth and I cannot lie. You flat earthers can't deny. When an astronaut from outer space put that round thing in your face, you just laugh. Wanna prove it's flat, cause you know they're full of crap. Deep in the lie they're spinning. spinning, zooming and reappearing. Oh, NASA, don't wanna get with ya, cause you take fake picture. My husband tried to warn me, cause that Earth you got is oh so corny. Oh, Mr. Tyson.
Tyson.
You say the Earth is a pear?
Idiot.
Well, show me, cause I'm pretty sure that's baloney. I've seen the horizon with no fish islands. It's flat with a hat, and it
So
still
flat.
has a well-trained cat.
It's flat with a hat. It's pretty good.
I'm tired
Yes.
of magazines. Say around Earth is the thing. Take the average Joe and show him the math. He's gonna question your facts. So fellas,
Yeah.
fellas,
You know, take the average Joe out there, give him some math, and he'll be like, what? The Pythagorean theorem that we all know and love is telling me that this doesn't add up. And I love to look at math and do the math on about the Earth's curve. What do you mean you flat earthers can't deny? That's not saying much. Flat earthers can't deny. Because they're telling the truth. Let's see what else is going on.
girlfriend know it's flat.
Oh,
Share
yeah.
it.
Share
Share
it.
it. Share this cause it's flat. It's flat. Firmament with the ice wall border. Firmament with the ice wall border. The Earth is flat.
Oh my
with the
god.
ice wall border.
Firmament with the ice wall border. Bum, 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 bum.
I like the truth, no fib, and this lie is big. I just can't help myself. I gotta
No
dismantle
fib.
this entire scandal. I wanna show the world
Mm.
it's flat, double up, flat, flat. I ain't talking about a spinning disc, cause that is not what the Bible says. The word says it can't be shaken.
That's
It
right.
sits on a foundation, and it can't be moved. They
oh,
didn't teach that in
oh,
school.
oh,
So I'm
whoa.
watching flat earth videos. So
Watching
much
those
truth is being
videos.
exposed. You can have them astronauts. I'll keep God's word in all my thoughts. A word.
Where's me gun opener?
We're going back to that. Okay, it's proof from the Bible. All right, so when you get out there, you have number one thing when you're believing in the globe is that you got to prove it. And when you try to go out and prove it, sometimes it's not going to work because it's not really. It ain't really, if you think about it. It may not even really be round if you do the experiments correctly. And our friends over at the FECOR, kind of a weird name, they do some laser level experiments. This is their PDF, looks very official, using their terrestrial laser targeting method to measure curvature of water surface over in Hungary, and they also did one in the Netherlands. That's kind of funny. To study the effects of terrestrial refraction in different ambient conditions. Where's my music? There we go. The very small incidence angles close to the non-uniform density transition zone, aka NUDS, above water surfaces. So we got to measure the nuts of the Earth. Terrestrial laser targeting. So if you can go read through all this stuff. And they've got the proof right there. It's 120 pages. In this document, we've got the experiment, environmental conditions, the curvature calculations, optical and geodesic correction factors. They've measured, they got their lasers out. Once the beam was directly at it. Now careful, pointing your lasers at the Earth, it might explode because the laser is a very powerful tool. Took the measurements with the laser, used optical visualizations with cameras and a measurement board. Gotta have your measurement board. So there they are. Lake Balaton, Hungary, measuring positions, showing the measurement, laser position. There it is. There's the laser, and the camera. And they're showing the geoid undulation. And that's the term used to describe the distance of the geoid above or below the mathematical reference ellipsoid. Geoid undulation was at the same level. Wish I knew what that meant. So, here's their experiment. Shooting their lasers. And then they did the math. And there's the calculation. there's a hidden area. And there's a bunch of stuff about the ambient conditions. And here's some numbers. So if you're looking at this and you're like, these guys really did some good science here because they have all these numbers and stuff. There's no way you can look at this and go, yep, that's right on target. That sounds right to me. I have no clue. Just throw a bunch of numbers at it and it'll be right. There we go. So you're standing here, you're looking at the laser. And they're measuring the laser. There's some more laser stuff. So this is a very official experiment here using lasers. And oh, here we go. If you know your metrics, you'll know that that is 284 millimeters. Centimeters, one of those two. You can see that laser? So it all makes sense, right? It all adds up. And let's see the conclusion of all these experiments. So many numbers. This is official stuff here. This is once and for all. Proving. In conclusion. Oh, we don't really... Oh, here we go. Gravipotential surfaces. What the frick does that mean? It doesn't sound like anything I've heard in before. In the case of a local gravitational anomaly, the geoid surface would indicate that the difference, something as a geoid undulation. So in conclusion, where is the missing curvature height difference? I couldn't tell you. But if you do know about how to do math, and if you understand, there's their little thing. Wow, that laser is almost 3 meters long. It's a very impressive laser. So I can't really parse any of this stuff. I need it to be a little bit more easier to understand. This one's kind of cool. This is a guy who takes pictures, long-range photography. And I'm over in the Flat Earth Discord, and this is one of their big proofs that the Earth is flat. And it's a website called beyondhorizons.eu. And this guy here takes photographs of the Alps and some different mountains. And that's not one of them. Long-range photographs. And it proves that the Earth is flat because you can see these freaking mountains from so far away. How can that be possible? And, not sure. But you can see it, unmistakable silhouette. But this guy here, he'll tell you about refraction, ambient light, and all that kind of stuff to prove that the Earth is actually round. Because you got an interactive map here. Is this making any sense? I didn't really tee this one up very well, but basically, if you want to go check out this website, you can see some of his long-range photos, and he'll kind of explain how he took the photos and how the mountains aren't really visible on any old day. That you actually have to have the right environmental conditions to see these mountains with a photograph. All right, makes sense? Okay. Okay, so to end the show, I'm going to go in and talk about this little beef that we got feuding going on here. We've got this big-time skeptic, this guy, Mick West, and he runs the website metabunk.org. And it's kind of cool. He's got a forum, and he kind of explains how the Earth is actually round, and he debunks a lot of flat Earth stuff. Let's see. Here we go. Soundly proving the curvature of the Earth at Lake Pontchartrain over in Louisiana. On his blog, he proves the curvature by showing some videos, kind of in a similar fashion to what the flat earthers do. What those flat earthers do, showing videos and showing pictures and stuff. He does some experiments, and he shows the curve. It's kind of cool if you're interested in that sort of thing. The Earth is a globe. All right, folks, there you go. There's the curve. You want to see the curve? There's the curve. Dang it. This guy's over in Louisiana. He's taking photographs of some of these really long causeways and bayous and lakes and such. And he's showing you that, yeah, you really can't see beyond this curve here. There's a curve. See that? That's kind of cool. Whoa. Anyway, Mick West, he's got his Skeptic website where he shows you some proofs of the curved Earth, and he goes into some different explanations using an example of his car with chess pieces on it, taking some photographs, kind of similar to what Rob Skiba was doing with his bouncy balls and stuff. He's kind of showing you how curvature works, which is kind of cool. You know, it's good to learn some of this stuff to get it out of your head that you can't prove any curves. I know some of you thought that I was going to be all 100% on board with the flat Earth, and maybe that's why I wasn't totally gung-ho on the flat Earth episode, because I'm not a believer, damn it. I want to prove the curve. So check out Mick West on Metabunk and see what he's up to. But some internet beef they had, and this will be our last little segment here, is an experiment here by Dr. John. And what he did was he went out to somewhere over here in England, Worthing,
4.2 kilometers, 27
and he was checking out some pictures of Beachy Head, which is another part of England here on the coast. And he has a video about it, of course, like all the other people.
All of the scientific principles behind this observation are presented in the first video, so will not be repeated here.
It's a repeat observation of Beachy Head. Here we go.
In this observation, you can see the pale west cliffs of Beachy Head. They are not white, as the angles between the sun, cliff, and observer are not aligned. You will see the pale west cliffs of Beachy Head and the sunlight glinting off the Bell Tout Lighthouse that is on top of the cliffs.
So you're going to see this stuff in his pictures.
If you wish to immediately go to the part
Yes.
where you see the pale west cliffs of Beachy,
We want to do that.
Bell
We
Tout
don't want to
Lighthouse
watch
glinting
all
in the
30 minutes of this stupid video. All right, and we're going to have to wait. Okay, here we go. Got some pretty awful sound here. Here's the proof. This here is a video of Beachy Head. Looks like a beautiful place. The white cliffs. You can see them right there. There's the proof. If it was a curved Earth, you wouldn't be able to see any of that stuff. That's kind of what he's saying here. Oh, there's a boat. Of course, there is a little bit of refraction and reflection here due to the atmosphere. There it is. There's the famous lighthouse over at Beachy Head. Well, Mick West saw this video and he was like, what? No, not a chance.
A flat earther called Dr. John shares his observations.
Dr. John, R.I.P. We're not talking about that guy. Speaking of Louisiana and Lake Pontchartrain, he's an old musician who passed away. Dr. John. It's a different Dr. John.
But then it all goes wrong when he claims to be able to see the cliffs of Beachy Head and then claims this disproves the globe.
So Dr. John gets owned by Mick West. He was a big-time skeptic. He's all about proving the curve.
A clue as to what he's doing wrong here is that Beachy Head looks like a little white dot.
Beachy
whereas Seaford Head looks like giant white cliffs.
Okay, there's
This is
Beachy
odd
Head.
because if the Earth was flat, then Beachy Head would also look like giant white cliffs.
Huh.
He also does some calculations showing that 92 meters of the cliff should be hidden behind the curve, and hence he concludes he has disproven the globe.
We
All
do not
claimed
live here.
and wrong. Luckily, he zoomed in enough on one shot that we can use this to fit the skyline to the actual view and see what's going on.
Photoshopping. Wow.
He's actually seeing the cliff that's behind the lighthouse.
Wow.
This cliff is 106 meters high and a little further away, but the top 10 meters will be visible as the white dot, just like we see in Dr. John's video.
So Mick West goes and he logs on to Google Earth Pro and he does some little virtual zooming like we've done once before on some of our bonus episodes. We like to use the Google Earth. He goes in and says, check this out.
So instead of disproving the globe, it looks very like Dr. John has actually proved it.
What? How could that be possible? This guy was trying to disprove the globe, but instead he proved it? According to Mick West and his fancy Google Earthing and all of his photoshopping, And yet,
Mr. West helps.
Mr. West, what he actually did, according to Seventh Day Truth Seeker, he actually proved flat Earth. So he went and tried to prove the globe. And what he actually did is went full circle, okay, because the Earth is flat and it's a circle. He actually proved the flat Earth. And look at him and his big damn Pinocchio nose.
Disprove.
What a nasty man. And actually Mick West did go on Joe Rogan, so you can check that out too.
Dr. John's conclusions.
Dr. John.
Mr. West has produced a YouTube video in an attempt to debunk the conclusions of the latest South Coast observation. Unfortunately, Mr. West hasn't been telling the truth again.
Mr. West, come on.
He's been dishonest and telling porcupines in order to deceive people.
Porcupines?
This video will present
Mr. West,
sideshow
how
tricks
dare you?
employed by Mr. West to trick his gullible subscribers.
Wow.
The observation was viewing from Worthing to Beachy Head Cliffs.
Beachy Head.
Distance of 44.2 kilometers or 27.4 miles.
It's a long way away. Are we getting this? It's coming through.
At 27.4 miles or 44.2 kilometers, the White Cliffs of the west side of Beachy Head can be observed with the eye or an optical device.
The eye is kind of like an optical device if you want to think of the body as a machine.
The Bell Tout Lighthouse.
The lighthouse, not the White House.
Mr. West has been very cunning indeed.
Oh.
His deception is very neat and well crafted. But when logic and deduction are applied,
when logic is applied, the truth is revealed.
His nature and intentions exposed.
And he's a damn, probably in the New World Order.
The deception.
The
In
deception.
this video, Mr. West is going to attempt to trick anyone gullible enough into thinking that they aren't observing the west side White Cliffs of Beachy Head at point A, as shown below.
He's trying to trick you into thinking you aren't observing the west side cliffs of Beachy Head, as shown below. Actually, he is. I thought he was saying that those were the cliffs, and the other guy said it was actually
The White
the
Cliffs
lighthouse.
of the west side of Beachy Head,
I don't know.
represented by point A, are 27.4 miles, 44.2 kilometers away from the observer.
This is
These white cliffs
exciting
in the photograph
stuff.
below are what are
Talking
pictured
about how
at
far
point A
away
above.
things are.
But Mr. West is going to try and trick you into believing it is this. I know you are thinking, but there are no visible white cliffs in the blue box.
What?
At the elevation the picture was taken. Don't worry, Mr. West's desperate sideshow tricks will make one appear
He's
there.
doing gaffos and fakos and magic tricks to try to get us to believe that we're looking at these other cliffs instead of the ones that we're actually looking at. Because he's a deceptor. The White Cliffs.
The White Cliffs of the west side of Beachy Head, represented by point A, are 27.4 miles, 44.2 kilometers away from the observer. These cliffs are what are pictured at point A, but Mr. West is going to try and trick you into believing it is this. I appreciate that it is ridiculous, but we will go through with Mr. West's desperate sideshow tricks anyway.
He appreciates that it's ridiculous. You gotta love it.
The previous picture is an...
And sometimes you gotta love your haters the most. It's an overlay of shots from YouTube. Okay, so what the point of that is. Here's the
inappropriate
deception.
overlaying of his manipulation.
He's using image manipulation and all that stuff. For all intents and purposes, looks like Google Earth Pro.
Looks like the Google Earth Pro image
just
used
doing
in his video is a genuine, unmanipulated image. Who would even consider it had been manipulated?
What? Why would he manipulate?
This is what I get on Google
That's
Earth
what
Pro.
he gets on Google
No
Earth Pro.
manipulation of the image.
No manipulation. And I did kind of wonder, how did he get this perfectly flat thing on Google Earth? I'm not really sure, but I just assumed that he kind of knew how to work the camera angle. Because he's a pro. He's on Google Earth Pro. Here's a real
photograph.
Notice the
Here's the
shape
link.
of the paths.
The arc of
that path isn't even visible in the real photograph.
that
Well,
path isn't visible in the real
it's not so much the paths as it is I'm lost now.
This is what I get on Google Earth Pro with no manipulation.
Well, maybe you need to check out a tutorial about how to use Google Earth Pro, my guy.
This is what Mr. West.
See if you can go back and give that another shot. Because Mr. West, he's got it figured out, I think. He's saying that the Google Earth image has been manipulated and exaggerated and tilted. He's using some tilt-shift photography. He's been manipulating his images? Why would he do that? Not sure. Here's his manipulation. From a different photograph from a different angle. Anyway, this is the kind of stuff that goes down. Lots of arguing. It's a different perspective, that's right. He's attempted to deceive his subscribers and has been exposed. Have a go at changing the number and see what happens to the train. It's very interesting. Mr. West, you're a proven liar. Yeah, these are different photos. And the liar has been exposed for the first time. Alright, so there's liars and fakers and people trying to deceive us out there from the real truth of the flat Earth. And why would he manipulate Google Earth Pro image in such a way? Because he's a big meanie. He's raised the white cliff. I've heard of raising the white flag, but he's raised the white cliff. We get it. So I hope that clears everything up for everybody. I've kind of cut off the video here, but I hope that clears it up for everybody. That's a little tour through the wild and wonderful and weird, and might I say it's weird. That's a tour through the wild and weird and wonderful world of the flat Earth. Bow. Now go check out your cue sticks and your cue balls and see if you can prove how things curve. It's kind of a cool experiment. You can go online and check out some of the stuff we looked at today. Check out Rob Skiba. Love him. Beyond Horizons. You can go read the Bible. You can go read about flat Earth in the Bible. That's where you're going to find it. Maybe it looks like... Getting a text here. This is from Mr. Rude Guy. He says, Dude, I'm freaking out. The Samurai Kid has taken over the Twitch stream. He's stolen the rig. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. Dude, can I come stay over at your place while I figure things out? Oh boy. Well, I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks like Mr. Rude Guy's having a tough time. He's been kicked off his streaming show? Oh boy, this guy's full of drama. But over here on the cool stream, I think you should let him in. Well, he's not here yet, but I guess if he's been kicked out of his Twitch stream, maybe he needs somewhere to go. Not sure. We'll have to update on what's going on there. This is breaking news. Mr. Rude Guy's been kicked off his stream. Holy crap. Wow, that stinks. We're here for you, bud. I guess you can sleep on my couch. I was not expecting that. Anyway, so here on the cool stream, we're all about peace and love and happiness, and Samurai Kid is in big trouble. That's right. I don't know what that guy's up to. Here on the cool stream, we're about keeping the peace between the streamers. We'll be back next week with a regularly scheduled program. I know there's other streams going on. That may be true. But we're doing the cool stream. I can only do me. And this is what I do. I do the show. I do it for you. I do it for all the viewers. And I know today we had a lot of fun with the flat Earth. So thanks for watching the show. We'll be back next week on the friggin' cool stream, just as we did this week. And let's go ahead and tee up these credits. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, y'all.
know it's flat? Oh, yeah!